Audu. Good morning.
Morning to you.
Hope you rested over the weekend.
I did.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I had some good rest. Anyway, it's time to work now. And today, Monday, the 12th of January, was billed to be a day for Nigerians to dread, as on January 3, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has announced its intention to embark on a nationwide strike to press home some demands bordering mainly on welfare and conditions of service.
All the uncertainty was laid to rest on Sunday evening when, after a National Executive Council meeting, the association announced the suspension of the strike.
In a release, the resident doctor said the decision was reached following firm commitments from critical stakeholders on resolving the issue and the direct intervention of the vice president.
The doctor's decision to suspend the strike threat forms part of our focus on Kakaki this Monday, as the national president of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, Mohammed Suleiman, will be joining us to explain what
that strike issues. The federal government over the weekend directed immediate enforcement of a no work, no pay policy on striking Joint Health Service Workers Union, JOHESU.
Well, a circular from the Minister of Health and Social Welfare to heads of federal health institutions says the directive follows the continuation of the JOHESU strike, which began on 14th November 2025.
How is this no work, no pay likely to affect the strike, the joint health sector workers and healthcare delivery in Nigeria generally?
Big question, and this we will be seeking answers to right here on the program. We'll be doing this from the president of the Joint Health Sector Union, JOHESU, Kabir Ado Minjibir, and president of the National Union of Allied Health Professionals, Kamal Ibrahim.
The planned strike. Remember that here on this channel we spoke to Dr. Mohammed Suleiman, the president of the National Association of Resident Doctors.
I'm so excited that he has also looked at the timeline, and we will give the time and see where we land at the end of the day.
You know, to many people, really, if the government and authorities concerned actually do what they have done with your case now, that has prompted you to call off strike, we may not be having, you know, some of these actions we're having all over the place in almost all sectors of the economy. So would it mean that the government actually, holds the doctors to high, esteem, because I'm asking this because we know that JOHESU really has been on strike for 2 months, and what we hear today is that the government is issuing no work, no pay, for them. It will seem like their own issue has not attracted such attention. Why do you think the government has actually, I think that's the question Kunle was trying to find out, exactly why government seems to be on your case this much, and do you think they should also extend this to other sectors as well?
Who said the no work, no pay and other aggressive government action were not meted on NARD? Look at that no work, no pay document very well. It is also intended and targeted at NARD. Look at it critically, you will see it. I'm sure, of course, the NEC didn't put all of this into consideration when reviewing the state of implementing things. We saw on social media that a court injunction was gotten, and a court summons was gotten for the leadership of NARD to appear before a judge. I mean, when was the last time you saw the federal government taking a union within the health sector to court? But this has happened to NARD. So when it comes to these aggressive actions from government, we are also at the receiving and at the receiving end.
Indeed, the entire conversation on Kakaki is devoted to the health sector because of how important that sector is to Nigeria and Nigerians. We do have Kabir Ado Minjibir, National Chairman, Joint Health Sector Workers Union, JOHESU, joining us now, and Kamal Ibrahim, President, National Union of Allied Health Professionals. You do remember that Johesu has also been on strike for 2 months now, or close to that. And the government has issued a no work and no pay, should I say, directive now to Johesu. So let's see how these bodies are taking this directive and what they want to do going forward. Thank you so much, gentlemen, and welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right.
Okay, now let's take a look at. Let me start with you, Mr. Minjibir. Did you see the federal government's no work, no pay directive? Did you see it coming?
Thank you very much for having me. As you rightly said, we have seen the circular, and I believe our members has equally seen the circular, and it does not come to us as a surprise, because we believe actually probably the government will try this way out, but we are not surprised.
Okay, it will be interesting to know what exactly has happened since you went on strike. For those really who do not know exactly why Johesu is on strike, maybe you bring back the memory of the people as regards why Johesu even embarked on the strike in the first place.
Well, let me once again reiterate the fact that the reason why Johesu is in strike is not a new thing, it's in the public domain. But for the purpose of empathy, let me also re-emphasize it, that is a one single demand, which is the CONHES adjustment. What I mean by CONHES adjustment is that in the health sector, since from 2009, we have two different circulars. One circular is referred to as salary circular, is referred to as Consolidated Medical Salary Structure, which is CONMES solely for physicians. And the second one is what we refer to as CONHES, which is Consolidated Health Salary Structure for other health workers, ranging from nurses, medical laboratory scientists, pharmacists, and all other health workers in the country. So these circulars emanated in 2009, and when the collective bargaining agreement was signed during the implementation of these two circulars, it was agreed that tinkering with one circular automatically brings about tinkering the other, because at the initial stage of the provision of the circular, all relativity, all allowances, differences were taken care of in the first instance. So in 2017 or in 2014 precisely, there was first upward review of CONMES circular, leaving the CONHES circular without adjustment. Then that is when the agitation started. Then in 2017, there is another CONMES adjustment, and in 2018, there is the third CONMES adjustment, making adjustment of CONMES circular 3 times without adjusting CONHES. So that is the main agitation that this struggle was on in the first 14 years, which I think makes it the longest agitation or demand of labor in this country. So initially, we used to combine agitations from Johesu almost about 19 or 16. But this time around, because of the long-standing demand that this CONHES adjustment stayed, and with the initiation of the collective bargaining agreement by the Federal Ministry of Health, that they need to streamline all issues regarding professionals in the health sector, we now demanded for the CONHES adjustment before this.
Of my head, but Dr. Salako said something that really I think you should respond to now. He said that government finds it a bit cumbersome for negotiations to be done piecemeal. Negotiate with NAD now, negotiate with Johesu now, negotiate with all the separate unions in the health sector. And he said that negotiation should ordinarily is done when they're dealing with doctors, with the enemy, not with NAD. Now, what do you see as a way out of this? Because you talked about CONMES having been updated and CONHES not being updated, and that's part of the issues, well, in fact, the key issue here. So how do we resolve this issue of collective bargaining?
Well, we are not kicking against the joint collective bargaining agreement of all the unions and professionals under the health sector. But what we are saying is that this CONHES adjustment is a long-standing issue. So let it be done fast. Then we'll continue with the collective bargaining agreement as proposed by the Federal Ministry of Health. We are part and parcel of the collective bargaining agreement. It was started with our representatives. But what we are saying is that if at all the collective bargaining agreement will be predicated under the COMES and CONHES, then obviously we should go back to 2009 that says if one circular is tinkered, then the other one should automatically be tinkered. So if justice is going to be done, the three adjustments done to COMES should have been done to CONHES so that we will be at the same level. We'll go back to that 2009. Then the recent collective bargaining agreement, as proposed by the Federal Ministry of Health, will now continue the way they like it. So we are not kicking against that, but let justice be done to members of JOHESU across the country.
All right, let's hear from Kamal now. Kamal, thanks for your patience. The President, National Union of Allied Health Professionals. So are these issues one and the same, or are they slightly different?
Thank you for having me once more, and good morning, Nigeria. Just as my chairman has spoken, we wonder what the minister has said here, which is a welcome idea. But one simple thing which has not told Nigeria is he has recognized that government has a CBA with on COMES and CONHES. But we repeatedly see, persistently see a review or selective implementation of that CBA of the COMES without CONHES. And that is why we feel that there's no faithful attempt to address this issue. The faithful attempt we're talking about here is that having government agree with the two CBA, while having selective implementation of one salary structure and leave the other. We need a strong and reliable basis for this CBA, which is take us back to 2009 baseline, or adjust our comments, our CONHES upward to the current 2014, so that we'll have a better base of discussion at this CBA as proposed.
So what has happened since this strike began? Say 58 days ago is not a small time. So what has happened really? Any meetings, any feelers that the issue will be resolved even before this no work, no pay issue?
What really happened is a failure dialogue, failure negotiations, and the persistent failure in implementation of the agreement on ground. So deadlocks. We've not seen any practical presentation on us to enable us to suggest whether we call up or not. Minister has told you here that out of 19 items presented by NAD, 10 has been addressed. This morning you have heard from the president of NAD that the issue on ground has been intervened by government. Has Minister ever told you that this is what they have done to the agitation that led us to strike in this problem? The answer is practically no. And that is why our members see that there's need to continue these strikes until when there's a practical response to our own needs, as it is done to our colleagues also. We've never had any of the ministers told you here, tell us here in the platform that these are the practical steps or these are the interventions made so far. We had a committee, which the president told you here last time, assigned by Mr. President. Instead of abstracting the action or activity of the committee, what we can see is a threatened intimidation of a no work, no pay.
All right, we'll ask you to just stay with us because we're going to take a break now.
Earlier, before we took that break for Kakaki Socials, and talking about JOHESU strike and what the unions want to do going forward, particularly with the no work, no pay directive by the government in a circular. Kabiru Ado Minjabra has been with us, and Kamal Ibrahim also talking about these issues.
Yes, Kabiru Ado Minjabra is the national chairman of the Joint Health Sector Workers Union, JOHESU, while Kamal Ibrahim is the president of the National Union of Allied Health professionals. Thank you for staying with us, gentlemen. Let's pick up the conversation from where we left off now. Now, Kamal, I'm coming back to you. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. Now, you talked about the doctors having gotten everything they wanted. CONMES has been updated for them, while CONHES has not been touched by the federal government. So what exactly do you think is the problem? Now, one would imagine that what affects doctors would affect other health workers, because in that sector, just like it is in broadcasting, it is teamwork.
Yes, thank you very much for that questions. That has been the major agitations and unanswered question for over 10 to 12 years of this struggle. As you rightly says, the work in hospital is a health team. It's a team that recognizes the effort of each and every member of that team. And if you are conversant with the clinical procedures in a hospital, you could imagine that no any meaningful service could be delivered if any member of the team is left out, or if any member of the team decides not to do the rightful obligation, as we are observing recently. You could see that now that we're on strike, nobody work is not going work. And if anybody assume that any work is an equality, because everybody has specification of work to be done. And that has become worrisome to us over this for 12 years, where even not just because we're a team, we have genuinely and agreed and sent a memorandum that require a justice and fairness given to every category of the teams. But after that, we've seen a series of a selective and tinkering of that structure of physicians without other main head workers. It's not a convenient situation to every member of other health workers outside physicians. This is the big question we continue asking. We've said it time without number. If a work is needed to achieve any output, no matter how significant force that is required to give that out, is recognizable. But we've seen a series of selective implementations and upgrading without orders, which we made is justice to us, is not fair to us, and this against the existence of the team and the aims of the organization cannot be achieved. I was wondering, and that is why, as I last, we are also documented. We're not giving convenient reason why a current salary structure will continue to be tinkered without order, having realized that it's a teamwork that can be done by anybody. And as the minister came here to come up, teamwork, and they have agreed that the TVA that require this two salary structure should be moved side by side. Yet, we are seeing the practical application from what is there. It's a big question that we are asking, and that is why we are in this. The dialogues and negotiation and the agreement has been signed have persistently failed for not being implemented, which is not the health sector.
Okay, let's get to Kabir back again. Really, many Nigerians are wondering where Johesu, thinks to go from here, because one would have expected that what would happen now is dialogues, negotiations, meetings, roundtable conversations as to how these problems would be addressed. But hey, what we saw is a circular saying no work, no pay. Are you threatened by this directive, or what do you intend to do going forward?
Well, that is to our own suspicion also, because we cannot solve the problem without dialogue and negotiation. But government decided to be adamant, decided to remain silent, and we cannot force them to dialogue with us. Since the commencement of this industrial action in the last 58 days, we have only 2 conciliation meetings, which was deadlocked, as rightly said by my colleague. And then we equally have 2 informal meetings, which also did not yield any positive result. But the situation I think we find ourselves in this country is that particularly through the Federal Ministry of Health, there are first-class workers and second-class workers, because in as much as government will deploy this energy to solve a problem within a stipulated 1-week period, then why can't the same energy be deployed to resolve an issue paraded by 80% of health workers that are providing health services in this country within the last 58 days? So the negotiation is not from our own side, because we cannot call for negotiation. It's the government responsibility to call us for discussion and negotiation. And all what we are saying is that do the needful. Circularize this issue of CONES adjustment, give us implementation table, and finally give us the payment plan for the outstanding areas. That is all we are asking for. And as you rightly said, what is the way forward on the issue of the no work, no pay circular? It does not come to us as a surprise, as I said earlier, and we didn't view it as a surprise, as a threat, because we have seen a situation where some other unions, like especially in the education sector, have survived this issue of no work, no pay, and their demands were met of. And even at Johesu level, we suffered the something in 2018. So this is not the first time that the Federal Ministry of Health deployed this issue of no work, no pay to our members. And I heard the Minister of State for Health is saying that some of the health professionals decided to take militant approach. With due apology to the Honorable Minister, we are not militant. And I think Johesu members have shown maturity in the last 12 years of agitation, because we have done well. We have gone to so many negotiations. We have entered about 8 MOUs, but all in vain. So the next thing we will do now, we are just like glorified messengers as leaders. So we are discussing this issue of no work, no pay at our organs. We have 2 organs. That is the leadership organ, which we will discuss first, and then we will relate whatever we'll discuss with our recommendation to the expanded NEC, and then we will make our position public.
All right, Kabir, I'm going to stay with you now. There's this proverb in my place that says that a man who prophesies that there will be famine will definitely not take his children to heaven to feed them. You are also a member of the Nigerian Society, and you access healthcare services yourself. And this will be my final question to you. Where do you place Nigerians who need to access healthcare services in all of this? How do you factor them into the negotiations, into the processes and procedures of these ongoing industrial disputes?
Well, actually, as health workers, as professionals, we are not happy with the current situation, because we don't want a situation where majority of the citizens did not access public health care services. We are equally worried, but there is nothing we can do. We are pushed to the wall. So we have to sympathize with Nigerian citizens and equally appeal to all meaning Nigerians, all stakeholders, all traditional rulers, all religious leaders to talk to the government to do the needful. Because government is like playing as if all is well, as if there is nothing that is going on in the health sector, despite the fact that majority of the health places in the facilities were locked down for the first 58 days. And I believe there will be no meaningless successive healthcare delivery in the country. So I think it's not our own will. We have tried our best to see that we did not go to this strike, but unfortunately, government did not do the needful. So we sympathize with the consumers of health across the country, and we hope that each and everybody will put hand on deck to ensure that government do the needful so that we can also go back to our respective working places. And as you rightly said, this is the last question to me. I want to see this opportunity and appreciate you for putting the health of Nigerians in the forefront, because you are the one of the few channels that put across this issue of Johesu and other health sector union strikes in the forefront. So we really appreciate you. So by updating Nigerians on the current situation of the health sector in the country. Thank you.
All right, we must thank you very much for your time and thoughts on this one. It's been Kabir Ado Minjibir, National Chairman, Joint Health Sector Workers Union, Johesu, and Kamal Ibrahim, President, National Union of Allied Health Professionals, taking a look at Johesu strike, the no work, no pay directive by the government, and what would happen going forward in that sector. Do have a great day, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Enjoy your